Hey there everybody, it is I, Tony, aka TT Brigade. Welcome back to a new video here. And this video is going to be totally different from the other videos I've made. It's going to be similar to my two videos I made called Games that Should Lose of Silly Castle and Disappointing Video Game Sequels. And today I'm going to be bringing you in my opinion, video game franchises that need to die. And once again, I have 10 games here. The 10 game franchises here that need to die because I don't want to go overboard. And I feel like the ones I mentioned here are pretty much good enough with what I have to say about. So let's get down to business here. Let's get started with number 1, Street Fighter. Yeah, Street Fighter is definitely on this list because we all know what Street Fighter is. Fighting game series by Capcom and stuff. And beyond the Street Fighter is a fighting game series that is so milked to death. For me, first they released like a Street Fighter sequel. Then they got release the Super version, then the Ultra version, then this version, that version. Basically, the same thing all the time, just extra characters and more stages. And that's basically it. You kind of it's kind of like a ripoff. You feel like it's a scam because you get scammed your money for the same game, just extra stuff. I mean, I don't see why Capcom has to do that instead of releasing everything on one disc. I mean, sure, I can understand it was like the PlayStation stuff where they didn't have a lot of room on the disc and stuff, but nowadays when you got like the Xbox One and PS4 and stuff like that, you don't need all this DLC and stuff. It's just a waste of money, and truth is a lot of those Capcom fighting games suck ass anyway. They're all the same thing. So the same 2D, 3D fighting games, same control style, same moves, just different characters and slightly updated graphics. They are a waste. In fact, this doesn't go with Street Fighter, goes for all the other fighting game franchises Capcom made as well, like Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Dark Stalkers and stuff, and just all of those franchises that like really are not necessary and not even worth buying. They're all the same thing. So that's why I'll never. This is why I prefer other fighting games like Tekken, well, the old Tekken games, the Soul Calibur games, and Bloody Roar and stuff. And those are actually more worth it than freaking crap ass Street Fighter and stuff. Now I know there's gonna be a bunch of Street Fighter fanboys saying, "Oh, you don't know how to play and stuff. You don't know how to do the moves and stuff." Truth is, yes, I do know how to do the moves, but I wasn't having any fun. I mean, you can only have fun with that type of game, with type of Street Fighter game for so long before you get sick of it. And I certainly was sick of it. And I don't have any more Street Fighter games. I didn't have many, but they're all gone because I realized how boring they were and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what I say for Street Fighter. Number 2, Dynasty Warriors. Oh yes, Dynasty Warriors. The hack and slash franchise that's been doing the same thing for the past like almost 20 years or so. Now, when the first Dynasty Warriors we got on the PlayStation, it wasn't even a hack and slash game. It was a fighting game, and it was a good fighting game. And in my opinion, it basically was like, to me, it was like Soul Blade, but it was like in like the ancient times and stuff like that. You had warriors and such, and like you different types of blades and ropes and stuff. And in my opinion, it was a must-buy fighting game. Then Dynasty Warriors 2 came out, we realized that it was going to be a hack and slash game instead. But hey, I was okay with it because like, well, do some different and stuff, because there's a lot of fighting games on the PS2 and stuff and the current gen at the time. And then Dynasty Warriors 3 came out, and Dynasty Warriors 3 improved a lot than Dynasty Warriors 2 had. And they even had the Japanese, they had the option to choose the Japanese voice acting as well. And that was a big plus because the English voice acting in Dynasty Warriors 2 was awful and didn't have no option to change it. But Dynasty Warriors 3 was great, and I figured this is perfect, you don't need any more Dynasty Warriors games. Then we got Dynasty Warriors 4, which had some excellent music and stuff, but no Japanese voice acting. It's the same thing as Dynasty Warriors 3, just slightly updated graphics and just slightly more characters, and that's basically it. I didn't even play much of it. Then there was Dynasty Warriors 5, then 6, then 7, then the Dynasty Warriors Gundam series, which I'm not the only Dynasty Warriors Gundam game was playing is the first one, but then you had Dynasty Warriors 8, and then now there's releasing Dynasty Warriors 9. It's the same thing over and over again, but people still buy this. I don't understand why people even still buy the same hack and slash game over and over again, just slightly updated graphics with more characters and stuff. I mean, for the first few games it was fine, but after a while it gets annoying because like they don't make any changes at all. and no Japanese voice acting for any of them except for the third one and Dynasty Warriors Gundam. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm right now the very first Dynasty Warriors game was the PSP one, but that's because I didn't know anything about Dynasty Warriors at the time. But then when I played the console ones and they were better, I realized that Dynasty Warriors is not much fun. They should have ended after the third game, but of course they had to keep milking the franchise because people just love the mindlessly hack and slash, but it gets boring very quickly. I mean, I'm not against hack and slash games because Senran Kagura, because the Senran Kagura series is like that, but that's a hack and slash game done right. It has replay value to it. It's got enjoyment. It's not the same thing over and over again. Dynasty Warriors is just a cash cow that needs to die off, which probably won't until like Dynasty Warriors 1000 or so. But that's all I gotta say about that. Now moving on to number 3, Call of Duty. Yes, I'm bringing up Call of Duty here because Call of Duty definitely needs to be on this list. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the World War II Call of Duty games, especially Call of Duty 3, which was very underrated and got hate for no reason whatsoever, and I enjoyed it. Then we got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and I was like, okay, this plays just like Call of Duty 3, just in a modern setting. And then Call of Duty World War came out, and I enjoyed that game as well. And in my opinion, it was cool to have a different take on, to have some different on World War II, and still be enjoyable. And I figured that okay, I think Call of Duty is kind of like I think Call of Duty is like done where it is because I didn't need to play anymore. Then when we get introduced to Modern Warfare 2, this is when the bullshit happened. Modern Warfare 2 just basically when the Call of Duty turned into a cash cow. And this is the thing that really pissed me off about the critics here. Activision and Infinity Ward were paying off the critics to give it good reviews because they knew that their game sucked, and they knew that the people were gonna buy them nonstop. So they wanted money and good sales, so they paid off the critics and stuff. But the thing is that like the only people like Call of Duty used to be known for one of the single player campaign, and yeah, the multiplayer was a big factor, but single player campaigns were still fun. But nowadays, like ever since Modern Warfare 2, they have attacked on single player that's super short, and it mainly focus on the multiplayer. And I cannot stand the multiplayer. I mean, I never played online multiplayer. Because the reason I don't play online multiplayer is because like you got a bunch of trash talking kids and stuff like that who think they're so tough because they play so much Modern Warfare 2 and stuff that it pretty much just messes with your mind. I mean, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 just pretty much is what destroyed the Call of Duty series. I mean, you cannot go 1 second these days without a gamer saying, "Hey, you play Call of Duty? Yeah, I play Call of Duty 3 and stuff like that. Oh, you need to get Modern Warfare 2. It's so much better. It's got better multiplayer and stuff like that." I don't care for multiplayer, like I said. I care for the single player. And if I want to play multiplayer, I'll play locally with bots. That's what I enjoy. I don't like playing online unless it's something like for a JRPG, like a Japanese game, like Senran Kagura or something like that. I refuse to play another Call of Duty game because the Call of Duty series has been milked to death. It's almost bad as Skyland. It's just like Skylanders, like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. They were milking that stuff to death because they knew kids would be dumb enough to waste their money on this shit, and kids still do waste their money on this shit. And you know, like I said before, the only Call of Duty games I need are Call of Duty 5 Star, Call of Duty 2 Big Red One, Call of Duty Classic, mainly Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and Call of Duty World War. Those are the true Call of Duty games before the series got milked. And I feel like that the series should have ended right away after World War, but it didn't for some reason because they thought that they knew how successful the sales were, so they thought, well, let's keep making more and more and more and more and more. More to the point where it gets frustrating, it gets annoying. It's like every Final Fantasy game nowadays, and like Assassin's Creed, which I will get to, I'll talk about it later. But yeah, and people are saying, well, Call of Duty's going back to its World War II era. Well, how do I know it's not going to be the same as it was for like Modern Warfare 2, which was like super easy gameplay, short campaign that can like last about 3 hours, and you gotta buy all the multiplayer packs and stuff like that, and the map content and the weapons and stuff like that? Why would I want to play that? How do I know they're not gonna do that? I mean, seriously, how do you know they're not gonna do that? I mean, the Activision and Infinity Ward I've known been like milking the franchise to death. So of course they're gonna do something different, but they're probably gonna say Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 did and stuff like that. And it's to the point where a lot of gamers are sick of the series, except for like little kids and stuff who who love playing games like this and praise them because they don't seem like brilliant challenger. You get hit, just hide behind cover and stuff. You're pretty much almost invincible unless you don't take cover. And yet, I just feel like the series should have ended long time. It should have ended in 2008, 2009 when World of War came out. But no, they didn't because they had to keep milking the franchise. But now I've talked about that. Now it's down to number 4, the Metal Gear series. Now I first played Metal Gear gameplay as Metal Gear Solid on a demo disc, and I enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of the Patriots, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. And they were all great games, fantastic storylines, although I wish the Japanese voice acting was in the games due to the lip-syncing match to the Japanese, but it wasn't, but it's not a big deal at the moment. And I did play the first 2 MSX Metal Gear games, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake on Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. It's the only way you could play them. But I thought that after Metal Gear Solid 4, the series would end because it ended on a perfect note. It didn't need to continue. Then when I heard about Metal Gear Rising coming out, I thought, okay, it's just probably just a spin-off side story because people who wanted to play Raiden couldn't. But I didn't really care for it because it was like Ninja Gaiden, and I had heard Ninja Gaiden Sigma was better, so I stuck with that and I was done with Metal Gear anyway. But then we get Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. And I'm like thinking to myself, why is this even made? This game doesn't need to be made. And of course it's totally different. You don't have David Hayter voicing Solid Snake. You have Kiefer Sutherland, I think, voicing Snake. I'll look that up here in a minute. But I feel like they made all open world levels. This isn't Grand Theft Auto. This is not Grand Theft Auto. I mean, they should have stuck with the stealth thing, but of course they didn't. And the Ground Zeroes demo was super short, and it could be beaten in like, I heard it could be beaten in under an hour or so. But yeah, I'm not joking. It could be beaten in under an hour. That is pathetic right there. Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland, the guy who voiced Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid 5, which was basically it took place after Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and I thought that Metal Gear was done, but unfortunately it's not, because from what I heard here, they're going to be making a new Metal Gear game called Metal Gear Survive, and it's not going to be done by Hideo Kojima. I mean, Hideo Kojima wasn't even involved with Metal Gear Solid 5. That's one of the reasons why it sucks, and yet it's going to be survival action adventure. Whatever happened with the stealth games that the Metal Gear Solid was like? Whatever happened with like hiding behind boxes and stuff? Whatever happened like hiding in dark areas to not be detected by the enemies and stuff? We don't get that though, because I guess stealth games aren't. I guess nobody wants a stealth Metal Gear game anymore. But unfortunately, Metal Gear Solid 4 was actually got bad reviews after what I heard because it was more like a movie and stuff like that. Well, they wanted to do something a little different, and there still was some stealth there. You had to sneak, you had to stay behind cover, and it should have ended there because you found out who the Patriots were. The series ended, and I'm not going to give away the ending for those who want to know about it. Like, all the loose ends tie up, and you got a perfect ending. You got a perfect way to end the series. And these games shouldn't have been made, and I will not buy any more Metal Gear games because the truth is, everything with Hideo Kojima not involved is not really Metal Gear. And that's good, and yeah. So, if you want to play Metal Gear games, play Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4, and or if you want to play the first 2 Metal Gear Games, get Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. You can play as Metal Gear, where you can play Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Those are the true Metal Gear games in my opinion, and they will always be. Number 5, Sonic the Hedgehog. And okay, Sonic here definitely needs something, because I've been a fan of. I didn't really grow up with a Sega Genesis. My aunt and uncle, my cousins did, and and Sonic was kind of a big part of my childhood when at my cousin's house, stuff like that. I mean, I remember when I remember the very first time I even saw Sonic was my cousin was playing. My cousin was playing it, and we were watching her play at her house, and I thought it was Mario with a different coat of paint or something like that, but I realized this is a Sega Genesis, and this is Sonic, and Sonic is fast, and he goes through and stuff, is what I thought as a kid. And unfortunately, I could never play any of the 2D Sonic games because one, my dad and I were more Nintendo fans and stuff, so And I didn't really listen to the first all Sonic game until the GameCube started releasing the Sonic games like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and then Sonic Adventure Dance Retro Cut, and Sonic Mega Collection. And the Sonic Mega Collection was what got me into the 2D Sonic games. And then after that, Sega started releasing Sonic games on multi-platform. Then started with Sonic Heroes, which was a mediocre game. I couldn't really get into it because like, I couldn't really stand the levels. Started playing the same levels over and over again, or just playing as like Team Chaos, which was kind of a snooze fest for me. But I had to play it in order to get the true ending with the battle against Metal Sonic. Shadow the Hedgehog was awesome, and the only problem I didn't like was that the lip syncing from the Japanese voice acting in the PS2 version didn't match up. It matched up the lip sync matched up to the English instead. But I think it was a fun game. I thought it was kind of like Sonic Adventure 3. And Sonic 06 was the last Sonic game that I enjoyed. Now I know I'm going to get hate for this year, but Sonic 06 is a good Sonic game. I'm sorry, Sonic 06 is a good Sonic game, and it feels like a Sonic game. But then when Sonic Unleashed came out, that's when the series started going downhill. They made it all very super kid friendly, and just made it all like I mean, the Sonic characters in Unleashed Up talk like children. They say the characters are all children like and stuff like that. Like even the graphics are like a cartoon like for kids. So it's like no more. I mean, like Knuckles wasn't in Sonic Unleashed and the other games, and Sonic Generations was okay, but I just did not like the new style that they went. And I mean, I enjoyed the Warhog Station, Sonic Unleashed and stuff, but I wasn't having fun collecting all those Sun and Moon tokens and just having to replay levels over and over again because of that. And Sonic Generations was fun at first, but I just got bored of it very quickly to the point where I just wanted to go back to play Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 on my PS3. And I did not play the other games because they're all the way Wii U exclusive. I don't own a Wii U, but just Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, in my opinion, from what I heard, was awful, and I feel like that's what killed the Sonic series. And I feel like Sonic will never be who he was ever again. I mean, I agree with Darkness Curse that they should have ended after Sonic Adventure 2, but Sonic 06 kind of wrapped it up pretty well, even with the plot holes, but I don't really care about that because I still had fun with the game because the game was actually beatable, even though it had those bugs and stuff. But yeah. But I feel like nowadays they release so many Sonic games, it's just nuts. So it's like, go away. I'm tired of Sonic now. I like my old Sonic games and that's what I want. But now getting to number 6, Assassin's Creed. Now, I played the first Assassin's Creed and I thought it was enjoyable. It was cool, it was innovative, and it was something fresh. And I feel like that if they made a sequel to Assassin's Creed, I hope they would do this but expand. But unfortunately, I just could not get into Assassin's Creed 2. Something about it I just didn't like. I don't know if it was the setting or the character stuff, I just couldn't get into it for some reason. But nowadays, there's so many Assassin's Creed games, it's like a virus that won't go away. I mean, every year Ubisoft releases one Assassin's Creed game, and I don't even know, again, I lost track of how many Assassin's Creed games there are, but it's like a cash cow, just like Street Fighter and Call of Duty and Dynasty Warriors and stuff. It's a cash cow that just will not go away. And every year they release one, they get dumber and dumber each time. Like one of them has to deal with pirates, one of them has to deal with medieval, and like one of them will probably deal with this and that. It's just they can come up with creative ideas, but it's not gonna convince me to play them. The only Assassin's Creed game I enjoy completely is the first one, and that's all I need. I don't care for the other ones and stuff because the other ones are just they're just boring. And yet I refuse to play another Assassin's Creed game because I feel like Assassin's Creed 1 should have ended. The series should have ended. But no, they had to keep going, and they still do. Now number 7, Resident Evil. Yes, I know we're gonna do talk about Resident Evil here. I mentioned Resident Evil 5 and 6 in my disappointing video game sequels video, but I feel like I need to mention it again because I feel like Resident Evil 7 is kind of being milked at this point. I mean, I did not play Resident Evil 7, and I don't think I'm going to because I kind of lost interest after Resident Evil 5 when I beat it and played Resident Evil 6. I was bored out of my mind. And I didn't really talk about Operation Raccoon City, how I felt like that was a disappointing sequel, but it was kind of a spin-off. It was non-canon, so I didn't really count it. But I feel like Resident Evil, because I know Resident Evil 5 wrapped up the story perfectly, but I feel like after Shinji Mikami left, the Resident Evil series has been downhill ever since. I mean, nobody can top what Shinji Mikami did with Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Resident Evil 4. I feel like nobody will ever top what he did, especially with Resident Evil 3. But nowadays, like, Resident Evil has to, like, come up with so many different types of enemy stuff to keep milking the franchise. I mean, even their movies and stuff are being milked too. Like, we already had, like, I think 2 or 3 CG movies, and they both sucked. Well, I've only seen the first one, Resident Evil Degeneration, and it sucked. It was basically just a movie for the fans. It's like a what? It takes place in this airport and stuff, and just Leon and Claire are pretty much not interesting in this movie. Especially Leon. I feel like Leon is being overhyped as like the Resident Evil mascot, when it should be like Chris or Jill, because they were the main 2 star survivors of the first Resident Evil. But nobody cares about them anymore. They do care about Chris, but Chris's personality has changed so much. He's like a steroid taking jackass, and Jill, like, yeah, Jill's kind of a bitch in the future games and stuff, especially in Resident Evil 5 and Revelations. Which Resident Evil Revelations was an okay game, but it wasn't nowhere near as good as the past Resident Evil games. And of course they had to make DLC and a expansion for Resident Evil 7, and like, I just can't sick of all this DLC. It's like Capcom does this to a lot of their games with DLC, and then like a year or so later they'll release like complete edition stuff with all the DLC on there, and it's pretty much a cash cow. And I'm just sick of like how Resident Evil has become. It came from a survival horror series to like this action adventure horror game instead of survival horror, and it's not interesting anymore. Number 8, Final Fantasy. Now, I enjoyed Final Fantasy. Now, I didn't really play the past Final Fantasy 7 games on the Super Nintendo and stuff like that, but I did start off with Final Fantasy 7, and then Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 9. And I played Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2, and that's where I were like, those were the last good ones. I know 10-2 was kind of like Charlie's Angels and stuff like that, and it was kind of dumb because it's just like a bunch of girls, just like you had to play as Yuna and stuff like that. Like, people didn't like that. They didn't want to play as Titus and stuff, but I didn't really care. Yet I think Yuna is more likable than Titus, because Titus was a whiny little bitch who just wouldn't shut up. But the game was still fun. But the game was still fun. But even though I did not like Titus, I still enjoyed Final Fantasy 10 and stuff. But I did not play Final Fantasy 11 because it was only on PC. I did not play Crystal Chronicles because I didn't like the way the game was set up. I didn't play Tactics, and not tactical RPGs. Final Fantasy 12, I only saw people play, and I didn't like how the gameplay was like. And when I heard about Final Fantasy 13, I thought, okay, maybe since this is the next gen console, they'll probably make it better. But it didn't at all. It did basically make a 3-part series on Final Fantasy 13, and the characters, like, I mean, the only character I cared about was Lightning, but the other characters like Snow and them pretty much did not even need to be there. And instead of like that huge ass open world environment stuff that you had in like Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, you have these like linear path levels, and there's enemies like every 2 seconds to try and choose a challenge because they know you. There's like, you can't go in multiple paths. It's pretty much all in a straight line. Ninja and 3 suffered the same thing. And like, it's just boring going in a straight line. I mean, whatever happened to like going through multiple areas, looking for secrets and stuff, going to the shops and stuff, you don't have anymore. I mean, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, I know Final Fantasy 7 is overrated as shit. It still felt like a real Final Fantasy 7 game. Final Fantasy 8 is probably my all-time favorite Final Fantasy game. I like the characters, I like the setting and stuff. I like the characters Squall and Rinoa and such, and Selphie and Zed and stuff like that. They're all likable characters. These characters in the new Final Fantasy games are just so forgettable. It's like you can't even consider them real Final Fantasy characters. And I didn't even play Final Fantasy 13-3 Lightning Returns and stuff, or whatever, Lightning Returns, because I didn't like it. I didn't like Final Fantasy 13 or 13-2, and I feel like at this point Final Fantasy was becoming a cash cow. I may get the Final Fantasy 7 remake when it comes out, but I'm a little skeptical on it because I'm just wondering how they're going to make it. Will it be enjoyable, or will it be just like the other Final Fantasy games where it's all simplistic and stuff? And it's pretty much the only RPG that gets recognition nowadays, which there are better JRPGs out there like Hyper Reach Neptunia, the Atelier games, Blue Reflection, and Mugen Souls and stuff. Much better JRPGs than the current Final Fantasy games. And if you want a good Final Fantasy, just play Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 too. That's pretty much what I'm saying. That's what I'm stopping at Final Fantasy. Now at number 9, the EA Sport games. Oh yes, I'm talking about like Madden. I'm talking about like Madden, FIFA, NFL, and Madden, FIFA, NBA, and NHL. Sorry about that. And I used to enjoy getting sport games when I was younger, but then after a while, I started to realize that how dumb the sport games are. It's the same thing every year, slightly updated graphics, and just new roster of character, roster character of players and stuff because they gotta keep up with the current time stuff. And that's basically it. I mean, the first Madden game I ever played was Madden NFL 2002. It was a fantastic football game. It was enjoyable. It didn't hold your hand. It didn't have that stupid weapon system and stuff they called in like the new games, and they didn't put graphics before gameplay. And they put the gameplay before the graphics like that, and it made the football games enjoyable. I feel like when Madden NFL 2006 came along, that's when the Madden series started going downhill. It was getting stale, and I feel like they should probably end it. It should probably end. I mean, like especially with the 360 version, how there was like half of the content from the other versions was gone, and I feel like when Madden came to the next gen consoles for 360 and PS3, I feel like that they started milking the series out, and they milked it so much to where like it's like milked to death to the point where Madden's not even recognizable anymore. In fact, people like to gawk at the graphics, like, oh well, cool, look like real people. Look, you can see the announcers talking and stuff like that. Who cares? It should be a fun football game. Shouldn't have to worry focus on the graphics and this weapon-based system. I mean, the ESPN games were amazing. I mean, the ESPN football games were amazing, but nobody really cared about them. And like of course like FIFA, I only played a couple FIFA games, and I didn't really care for soccer games. NBA, I only played a couple of them. I played the 2K games more and stuff, but the 2K games are gone. Or pretty much the 2K series pretty much kind of like obsolete at the moment. And NHL never really played a hockey game, but the EA Sport games are just all over the place. It's like you cannot get enough of them, and yet people are showing up at GameStop and stuff like for a midnight launch of these sport games. I think to myself, what's so special? They're football, it's basketball, it's hockey, it's soccer. It's the same thing. You love football and them so much, go watch it and stuff. Don't play the stupid games. I mean, in fact, everybody who plays these sport games gets tired of them within a month or two. There's no way anybody can be that obsessed with a football game when they play it all year round. I mean, sure, I did when I was younger with 2002, 2003, but that was different though. Those Madden games were different and more enjoyable. Here, these games are just pretty much like, why are they still making this stuff? Why don't they just retire the sport games and make something fresh and something different instead of the same thing every year around? Every August, you get a Madden game. We'll say October, you get an NBA game and a FIFA game and hockey game and stuff. It's like it's getting redundant, and actually it's been redundant. I feel like these sport games should have died off a long time ago, but no. People would rather play a video game sport instead of playing actual sport and stuff, or watch it, because like, you know how people are these days. Somehow a lot of people are these days. And I feel like EA sport games are just super shallow, these days, and just add barely any new content, just slightly updated graphics, and that's it. It's like, and of course got to focus on online play as well. But getting ready to the last one, I know I'm gonna get hate for this here. The last video game franchise and the top video game franchise that needs to die, Halo. Now, I enjoyed Halo Combat Evolved. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted an Xbox when it first came out, because I would play Halo at a buddy of mine's house, and it was fun to play multiplayer, like drive around in the Warthogs and like play the campaign together and stuff. It was fun and creative. The only way I could get Halo time was playing on the PC, but the PC version had some frame rate issues and stuff. And then when we got an Xbox, because my brother wanted to get Halo 2, I wanted to get Halo 1 because I wanted to play it on the consoles, and Halo 1 was better than Halo 2 and by so much. I mean, sure, Halo 1 kind of ended on a cliffhanger and stuff, but I feel like that if they would have kept Halo Combat Evolved the way it was, it wouldn't have been a cash cow franchise and stuff like that. And Halo is known to be the first person shooter on a console that works, which is totally false. The people who say that honestly never played Medal of Honor, or Life Force Tenka, or Doom, or Disruptor, or Red Faction, or Killzone, or anything, or original Killzone stuff to be exact. They honestly have not played any of those games because the media likes to hype up Halo as it's the best thing ever since bread and butter, and yet Halo is nothing interesting. I mean, the first game was fun to play, but the series itself is not interesting. You have a lifeless character. Master Chief is a lifeless wooden character who barely talks. Cortana never shuts up. Commander Jack, the Commander Jackson doesn't shut. It's just like, yeah, I'm tough, I can do this. And like, I feel like Halo 3 was, I feel like Halo 2 was disappointing, but it kind of felt like a Halo game a little bit. Then when Halo 3 came out, just basically, yeah, you pretty much all that hype for nothing, and that Legendary Edition stuff was a waste of money. You get a 6-hour campaign, which is superly easy, and like the Legendary ending ends on a cliffhanger and stuff. Which this is supposed to be the end of the trilogy. Why do they still have a cliffhanger? And everything felt superly easy about the game. The characters were not did not feel important to me. Like the characters were pretty much, you couldn't care for the characters this time. And like looking back at the original Halo, it's like, what happened? I stopped after Halo 3. I'm not a fan of strategy, so I did not play Halo Wars. I didn't bother with Halo 4, I didn't bother with Halo 5 Guardian, I didn't bother with that stupid ass Master Chief Collection. Why I don't own any Microsoft console anymore. Well, I do on my Xbox, but we haven't used it in years. And yet, Halo is basically just, Halo basically Halo basically is not original in the slightest. It borrows stuff from other better games. Dual wielding from GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. You got like a game that takes place in space, stuff like that. Oh, we got Codename Tenka. We got freaking Disruptor and stuff like that, and like smooth controls and stuff like that. You play the Medal of Honor games. So there's nothing original about this, and the fact of the matter is that the series still is still going on like crazy. I don't know anything about the Halo 6 is coming out, but Jesus already. Enough with the Halo already. I mean, how much more are you gonna milk this and stuff? I mean, Cortana, I learned, had died in Halo 4. I feel like that's a perfect way to end it, but no, they gotta keep releasing Halo 5 Guardian, and Halo 6. I mean, when's Halo gonna end? Like Halo 9 or something like that, or until Bungie gets sick of it? I mean, the Bungie runs out of ideas, because there's also Halo Reach as well, but Halo Reach was basically, I heard, a flop, but then again, it was a prequel, so it's pretty much what you would expect. But I feel like that this franchise should have ended after the first game. The first game did, although the first game did kind of end a cliffhanger, they destroyed the original Halo. Master Chief and Cortana escape the Pillar of Fire before it blows up, and I feel like that's where it kind of should have ended right there. Even though it kind of ended like cliffhanger, I feel like there was no need for it anymore. But then again, I'm not Bungie, so I can't really say anything. So that's pretty much it for my video game franchise that need to die, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I know this was a little long here, but thank you all for watching. This is Tony, Teach 38. Peace out, and have a great day.